recently. It's
And that's us all. Hello to the audience. You're
good afternoon.
yep, you're now back
Hello,
with
hello.
us here at To Die For RPG. I might have fooled some audience members by actually being on a wee bit earlier than usual. Oh,
It has an echo. I will deal with that.
okay. Thank you, folks, again for our usual audio check. So,
Is this better?
he's not responding.
Well, it takes a few seconds.
Yeah. But only a little better, but only a little.
Right. Maybe if I actually turn the microphone around properly. It was the exact opposite way it was supposed to be.
How's that now, Frog Scanner?
Oh God, no. Too bad, too bad. I just adjust the volume on the mic and see how that does things. Hopefully. No, I'm coming in double. Yeah, I swear. I shouldn't.
I'm just making sure I've not got like two audio streams going on.
Do you actually have? Are you listening to the show?
I shouldn't be.
John, if you're listening to the
Yeah, no, I've got that muted. Hold on.
Okay. Wow. Double the Wooster, double the trouble. Yes, exactly. Making me nervous.
Okay. So,
is it done, by the way? Or
yeah,
shall I?
yeah, that's the question. Here's the question: is me and Evan's audio okay? That's the more important question.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello.
And don't worry, people, Evan's just repeating himself, so you're not getting the echo, it's just him doing it himself.
Yeah, that's true. Tick one, tick two, tick one, tick two.
Fine.
It's just
The other two are fine. It's just the Wooster.
right.
That is weirdest thing ever.
Yeah,
Do
that makes
you
sense.
have your old headset in with your mic on?
No, I do have it.
Could it might be on also?
Check it out. What's it all about? Check it out.
How about now? Can you still hear me?
Well, we can. Have you Have you actually started to talk a wee bit quieter because it sounds like you're.
Yeah, I'm tuning down the microphone.
Yeah.
It goes gravity up. It goes gravity up. No gravity.
Well, it isn't a 2x4 production if it doesn't have technical difficulties to begin with.
Yeah.
Never let it go. Shot to not with this chance.
I've just got this image. Frog scanners are missing control. He's just going down the list. Pre-launch flight check. Ignition check. Yep, you're good to go. 3, 2, 1, launch.
There's a surprise, right? Right. Hopefully things are better now, since Frog is has been quiet for the last week.
It goes gravity up. It goes gravity up.
Yeah, me and my voice.
Ooh.
Barely hear Wooster now, kind of cackling. Yeah.
You're super soft, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me just add some volume to that.
Gravity up. It goes gravity up.
Well, I can just, worst case scenario, use these bad boys.
Never let it go. One shot to not with this chance to blow.
Actually, I'll just do that.
Guess who? He came to the ball. His wife beat him with his Nike shoe. All up in your psyche too. What's his name? Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man. Cinderella. Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man. Hey, hey, hey. If I had a time machine,
Okay.
I'd be.
So how often do you hear my voice now?
Oh,
Yeah, you're fine.
that's come through clearly.
Excellent.
Cinderella Man.
I
Cinderella
don't need that
Man.
microphone.
Cinderella Man.
Now,
Here's my time
quite.
machine.
If there is an echo, it is not me.
Cinderella Man.
Quite. Okay.
I'm trying to remember, when was that song released in the 1920s?
It's Istanbul, Constantinople.
Oh no.
I think the one that I can think of that's probably closer.
Okay.
It's a long
So
way to
there
Tipperary.
is an echo. Echo is no longer coming from me because the only sound coming is here, and I doubt even this thing can hear those.
Mhm.
So the echo is unfortunately boss on your side over there.
Somewhere.
So you have some program that is broadcasting the sound a bit delayed compared to mine.
Yeah.
So you're getting my voice twice for some reason.
Right. Let's just try something.
You can't hear it, so that's odd.
Yeah.
Yet. Maybe I'll try and rejoin the conversation.
No, I'm trying a few things with OBS. Frog scanner, is that fixing it?
Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man.
We also only have the one viewer, which is the frog scanner. It's just nice.
Does that help? I don't know if it did anything.
You were fine to begin with. I don't know why only I have an echo. Good also.
Okay.
Let's just try this.
Okay,
See,
yeah, I'm just
See if the
because
microphone is what's causing it.
because I'm wondering if it's just maybe if my microphone's picking up my headset.
It shouldn't. Not if you have these things. But I'll try and change my microphone. See if that fixes things.
How's that now? There.
Oh, testing 1 2 5. Can you actually hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me now. So that is bonus. Yes, I noticed that it took me a while because I have this this thing muted constantly, just so I don't actually record anything.
Okay.
Right. Now I fit the crowd. Everybody's wearing headphones. I'm not the special one anymore. Hi.
And I think, is that a blink coming on to the channel?
In theory.
I think a wild blink has appeared.
Oh dear. It could also be me, because I'm using my own. Oh, it is Blinky. Oh my! Well, Blinky.
Okay.
But there's still echoes. Not as bad. Okay, so definitely the echo is not on my end.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, what could it be I'm doing?
It's something I can't help you with from here. I can't see your screen, and you shouldn't be broadcasting it to everyone.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So I think we just as might as well just get on with the game.
well, depends on how annoying it is. I'm gonna have to listen to the podcast to see how annoying my voice is. My voice is terribly annoying.
Well, just stop doing the beatbox effects, and then we're fine.
And never.
That's insulting.
And I'm glad to be noticed for it.
Okay. So,
Right.
so where we were last left.
Would be for you to take off the pre-game banter mode.
Oh, of course, yes. Yes, of course. I keep forgetting about that first. Now that we're into serious mode, there, our intrepid party found themselves on a ship of historic importance, the RMS Olympic, the sister ship to the Titanic. A ship that is actually owned by Wooster Redwood and his family, amongst other shipping concerns that they seem to have elsewhere in the world. The Wooster was quite surprised to actually find the Olympic waiting for them in Alexandria, considering that the ship is famous for running the Portsmouth New York shuttle run. So to say it appears in Egypt, it's a bit unusual as it's in the opposite direction. Our compatriots found that a certain gentleman that is acquainted to Redwood was on board the ship. His very illustrious stepfather. Oh, he's not reacting for once.
I'm waiting for you to finish.
Where the crew had advised that said stepfather had made instructions that Wooster was to be brought to him straight away, but when the crew tried to find the said gentleman, they could not find him, thus starting a search of the ship until Wooster and the knight Sean Renn went into the deep bowels of the ship and found an ashen outline against the wall with a hole cut into the actual wall of the ship that led to one of the inner skins. In there was found a box that had been found that was missing from the safe of, and I'm for the life of me I've forgotten your stepfather's name. What was it again? It was Godfrey.
Philip, I believe it was Philip.
What was it, Wister? You're muted.
Pardon me, I was muted. Indeed, and the stepfather's name was Geoffrey Sandham.
Ah, thank you. Joffrey, sorry. What was I saying? Godfrey, I don't know. Joffrey Sandham, yes. Some a box that was taken, and a certain individual tried to take all manners of implements to said box to open it, to no avail. But when placed in the hands of Wooster, the very simple lock came undone, and inside it was found an Egyptian ruling rod, the old Egyptian rods that the pharaohs would have, but instead of being blue and gold wrapped in as depicted, it was actually blue and black on there. And along with it was a journal. The journal on the front of the page was written advising that the journal was the ancient journal, well, not the ancient, the journal of the late Philip Redwood, Wooster's father. And this is where we pick off on episode 4 of Sources of Power, Bargaining Chips. So Wooster you find yourself looking at this journal, and it's when you're leafing through it there. Can I get an intellect roll from you, please?
An intellect roll? Oh dear, this is going to show people how horribly intelligent my character actually is.
Okay.
It's a 1!
It takes a while, but as you're leafing through the book, there, most at initial glances, most of the book appears to be blank, but you then start to see what appears to be a shimmer in the pages.
A shimmer, you say?
Mhm.
Well, it shimmers. Read on.
So you're sorry.
I'm assuming this takes place about after we have departed from the bowels of the ship and into some more civilized surroundings.
Yeah, you. Where do you think you'd be perusing?
I would assume either in my own cabin or the cabin of my stepfather. I'd say my own cabin that has been prepared for me.
Okay.
The other one is still a crime scene
Yeah.
for now. Luckily, though, the law states that the captain is in charge of all investigations on board the ship.
Fair enough.
And for some odd reason, the captain has a very heavy responsibility towards myself.
Mhm.
Well, in my own quarters, Raleigh should have the key to it, but he has his own place to stay when he's not required.
Mhm.
Though tea has already been served anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, where's my teacup? Ah, well.
So I'm assuming. So did you take the journal or did you take anything else with you?
I have the rod and the journal with me.
That's what I was
The entire
asking.
box.
Yeah. So you have. Right. So when you're So I know you've looked at the rod, but your attention has been more on the journal, and it's just when you've realised that this journal was your father's, all you did was actually just close the lid and actually put the lock back in there. But it's when you're reading there, the shimmer slowly emerges into very fine writing of light that is emanating off the pages.
Well, now, this seems magical in origin. I need to focus my eyes and look closer. Possibly this is what they meant. This is what they wanted. I was going to find.
Is as you're leafing through, the language at the moment, there's nothing there that actually makes sense to yourself. There is in a script that you do not recognise.
Well, bloody. I suppose I need to study whatever language this is. to find out the true meaning behind this book and why it was so important to destroy this whole ship.
You come back, as you've leaved all the way to the end, you leave your way backwards for the book, and you come towards the last words that appear to be written by your father. And it's just as your fingers run across the page and touch the words, my son, can I get you to do a focus roll?
Well, I suppose I must. It's a 3.
Just as your fingers touch those words there, you see a slight pulsating light coming through the seam of the box. So what are you doing? So along the rod, the writing that was inscribed on it is now got that same shimmer that was in the book. What do you do?
Examine it, obviously.
So how are you examining it?
Take it in my hand and I feel it with my fingers.
Okay. Can I get you? What happens is as you touch the rod, you feel a crackle there. A lot more than that. So can I get you to do a haste roll on your end?
I got 0.
You're fine. And it's not the nastiest crack, but it's more the shock of it as you jerk your hand back. But it's as you're doing that, you notice between your fingers is wee sparks of the electricity interweaving between your fingers.
I try and move them with my mind or something.
Yes. Can I get you? Oh,
Apparently, I haven't dropped.
yeah.
I hope everything's okay on his end.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, at least I get more screen now.
Wooster, you're not meant to assassinate your fellow cast members.
Oh? Are you gonna ruin everything fun?
Yeah.
Why? Well,
Yeah.
either way, well,
It's kind of hard. You try shifting your mind to get this crackling between your fingers into some sort of control there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's no matter what you kind of think of, it's like where you try to control it with, you know, like thoughts of like become larger, become smaller, those sort of things. They're not working. It's only, but what? It's just for a brief moment you think of your stepfather, and the crackling intensifies around your hand.
I think about my mother.
It actually calms down slowly but surely.
So the connection is more emotional than intellectual. Anger.
As you think of what's it entirely that you're thinking about in regards to anger?
I am thinking about Herr Doctor.
Intense the crackling ceases, and so from your fingertips in the middle, a ball of flame emerges.
A flame. And thinking about something else. A serene ocean. Nothing there but gentle waves.
Uh, the the actual flame dies down from that red intense orange there to a very calming blue flame.
Ah. Well, and I figure out how to make this go away. Okay. Emptiness. Nothing. Nothing at all. Thinking nothing. Nothing.
As you're thinking of nothingness there, you feel a sense of darkness somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
You're not sure.
Close. Far.
You're not 100% sure. It was a feeling. You knew it wasn't you.
Oh, right. There's a flame.
Well, the flames really died down.
Well, at least it works. Huh. I wonder if I can do other things. This requires experimentation. But I don't think the audience is the audience interested in hearing more about Wooster trying out how magic works, or is this something we would like to just hand wave that he spends time on it and we move on with actual plots?
Yeah.
And it's obviously between the audience and the game master to figure out which is the proper course of action.
I think it's probably just maybe like a hand wave, intro Spider-Man montage scene where he's doing all the getting his web sling. The Shazam and all that, yeah. Yeah.
So we shall do this stylish hand wave.
Oh,
and the knight returns. Hurrah!
which is quite fortuitous because I was going to come back to him, actually.
Alright.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Hello.
All right.
So what happened with the book?
Magic happened.
Oh, you got your magic level?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So it was just me introducing it.
I shall do some accounting meanwhile. You have fun.
Meanwhile, Evan, your character, Wooster's character's retired to his room. Where are you?
Uh, I have been um, primarily in my quarters as well.
Mm-hmm.
I on the way to Jerusalem. I am just looking to see if any of the servants know. Um, I believe the gentleman's name is Thomas that we're going after. I'm not a great guy at writing things down, as we talked about before. Uh, what is the gentleman's name that I am seeking in Jerusalem?
Oh no, that wasn't Thomas, it was Ezekiel.
Okay, and Ezekiel does what again?
So Ezekiel is a See, he's got kind of two jobs, right? He's um he's a brethren, right? He's a member, he's a associated member of your order, okay? On one end, but on the other end, he's also a card-carrying member of the White Council of Wizards. There,
Okay.
because you were advising the order that you've come across what appears to be necromancers, they've kind of directed you towards him in the hope that he might be able to give you more information.
Because I got it. Okay. So I am talking with some of the servants and seeing if anybody knows about this Ezekiel person.
This is a thing, it's like, I'm not going to even have you roll on it, it's just unfortunately everyone who's on the ship there, they weren't expecting to be coming out to this part of the world there.
Mm.
Their experience is doing the Portsmouth New York run, They didn't question when Sunham redirected the ship there, but a lot of them were going, what the hell is he doing? You know?
Well, if that is the case, um, I would like to go to the ship medic, the ship doctor.
Okay.
I am not injured. I'm not in peril. I don't have stress. But I'd like to learn how to maybe do a little bit of healing in a divine sense and kind of look on and see what he's doing. And get some pointers because if we are going to be going on this adventure, I've been able to be a good shield, but I'd like to be able to heal people as well. So I'm going to see if I can't talk to the ship doctor and kind of ask to tag along for a few days while we're on the ship.
So you you go into the actual infirmary of the ship, and the doctor finds it a wee bit weird. As you said, you're not ill, you're not qualified, but at the same time, the guy that actually likes talking about his job, he actually finds it satisfying that there is someone who is interested. Okay. And the time you actually spend, it's not the fact that you're for yourself. It's not really the techniques or the healing that 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 you pick up on. The thing that you really pick up on is the man's demeanor. Okay, his devotedness to his art is what you pick up on. It's as you're watching him when he is taking care. you feel an aura or something stir within your. You would describe it as your soul. There.
I'm just viewing as how he takes care of his patients and the focus that he puts into care. Okay.
Yeah, and it's at certain points. I'll have you do, as you're watching this, can I get you to do a focus roll, please?
4.
Okay. What you notice is at certain times, especially in more emotional cases, there, you feel, especially where it's quite clear the concern that doctor has and the attention he puts on intensifies. You feel a slight heat in the palm of your hands
Okay.
as that goes on, and it's that when you look down, there is a slight translucency to the skin, as what appears to be a kind of a wee sphere of goldenness kind of travels underneath, but afterwards it disappears and your skin just returns to normal. There.
I would like to. I'd like to go back to my quarters.
Of course.
While I'm there, I'm going to take the letter opener.
Okay.
And I'm just going to make a mark enough to draw blood,
Okay.
kind of on my left bicep. And I want to see if that glow comes back.
Okay.
And I don't want to do this with anybody else around, so I want to go to my quarters to do it.
Alright, give me a second, Frog Scanner. I'll just try and see. Is that better for you, Frog Scanner? Question is the issue, am I echoing for you at all, Frog Scanner?
That's actually different because your system is picking up your microphone separate to our microphones.
So it's...
Because our microphones are going to your thing.
Yeah.
Check if you have, in your OBS, you should have 2 sets open. You should have microphone
Yeah.
and all the other noises. Those should be the only channels open in your OBS.
Yeah, some for everyone else and some for me, yeah.
Everything else is muted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Then.
How about this, Frog? Is that... Just out of curiosity, Frog Scanner, is that fixed up?
Well, anyone else needs to speak than you, or the echo to be heard.
Yeah.
All right, so tick 1, tick 2, tick.
Ah, the echo is gone now. Excellent.
Yeah.
So what was it?
It looked like, even though I had one of them muted, it looks like one of the sliders was all the way up. So I just put it all the way down.
Curious.
Yeah. That's why I didn't think of it, because it's got a muted button next. It's got the mute button hit, you know, so...
Alas, now problem is gone.
Okay. Right, okay, so you're basically just doing a very light scratch into your arm. Okay.
Just enough to get a little drip of blood, nothing else.
Okay.
Not even enough to really get a scar if I needed it.
So it's just like scratch. You put yourself... Yeah, so you're rolling your... up and you're just doing that there. And you're just kind of laying your hands... And it doesn't initially come to you. But you then actually think of... But you then actually think about what you were watching that was bringing that feeling. So what you actually do is you grab a cloth and run some water and you actually clean the wound first, and it's as you're cleaning the wound, you feel that intensity come back to the hand, but the intensity actually goes to the point you actually see the glow underneath your hand, and as you pull your hand away, the skin's fully repaired. There's not even blood. It's actually the skin's perfectly dry there.
Okay,
As you,
cool. I'd like to do one other thing.
okay.
Um, with this newfound knowledge, I I'd like to go and talk to um, the uh, kind of the I don't know how to describe it. The burly individuals maybe in the engine room.
Okay.
All right, and I'm looking for the person that has some kind of tattoo. I'm looking for the one that is his body ornament is the most. Can I find someone like that?
Oh yeah. These are all bloody sailors. They've got
Yeah.
they've got the anchor. You name it. They've got it. It's not the old it's not like tattoos nowadays where it's all the dragons and unicorns and all that sort of stuff. It's the old fashioned you know you know ship anchors and all that sort of stuff.
Uh, I approach the I approach the gentleman or lady that has the largest amount of tattoos.
Okay. And are you trying to lay on hands to get rid of his tattoos?
No, I'm not. Um, although from your description, I'm thinking that I've kind of learned a divine kind of lay on hands. Okay. No, I want to. My goal is to find a person who will tattoo me.
Oh. So you ask around, and they all point you in the direction. So you go further down, further down. They tell you to ask for Jimmy. There,
Okay.
he's the one that you need to speak to. He, for anyone on the crew, he'll be the one that does it for them.
Okay. So I'd like to go and find Jibby.
So you find Jimmy. He's actually a stoker on the ship.
Okay.
So you're coming into the furnace room. There, the heat is appalling there, and you see there's just slab of meat, humping heaps of coal and hurling it straight into the furnace from the coals from the coal heap, and it's like the guy's just covered head to toe in coal ash, right? You can barely see him, just from the outline from the fire from the furnace is the only reason why you see him.
I'd like to go up to him and yell, not for attention, but because it's a very loud environment. And so kind of coming out of regular volume and say, I heard you were the man to talk to if I wanted some tattoos of my own.
He stops there, pauses, turns, and if I am, so what?
I'd like to
I'd like to ask for your services.
It's very rare. You shouldn't be here. You're a guest of the ship. Why are you asking?
I is there? We're in the boiler room. You said.
Yeah, it's he's a stoker. Yeah, so it's the basically he's next to one of the ship's furnaces. There.
Okay. I look around for a loose nail.
Okay.
Do I find a loose nail?
Oh, oh yeah, you'll find something there. What are you going to be doing with the nail? That's the question.
I go over to him with this nail and I say, I would like you to tattoo uh, a nail that looks like this onto the edge of my two thumbs.
Uh, he's just looking at you and he goes, "Well, I can't do it now. I've got work to do, but we can talk later about this if you're sure about it."
Okay. And to gain his trust a little bit, I proffer my assistance in the boiler room, and also to kind of keep me in shape on this boat, since there's not a whole lot of ways to keep in physical condition.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just going to be a pure force roll. Okay.
Okay. To convince him to help or to do the thing.
Oh no, just to do work, to
Okay.
do the stoking there.
Okay.
And I'm assuming you're bloody stripping down there, else you're going to ruin whatever suit you're wearing.
Yeah, when and I didn't.
Sorry.
No, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I wouldn't naturally be in like that three-piece suit that would be designed for the top. I would probably have more of an adventure vest on, or a little bit of. I don't really have chainmail because I haven't got back to the Vatican yet to get proper armor, but it's some more dungeon explorer type clothing on. So yeah, I mean I've got the short sleeve, I've got the vest on. So yeah, I don't I don't look very high end right now.
So it's more like maybe like a leather jerkin of some kind you've got. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I got a 2 for my force roll.
Okay. So you're working along, and it's like trying to match the pace this guy's doing there. But eventually you're starting to lag more and more. And this guy's just a metronome. He's consistent. Bang, bang, bang. There. Like, no wonder this guy's just man mountain if he's able to do that. It's like, after 2 hours trying to keep up with it, you're literally just on your knees, huffing. And he's going, "I'll give you your one silly person. No one tries to match me at stoking this boiler. Come on. We'll see about these tattoos of yours. I'm clocking off anyway."
Okay.
So he takes you all the way up to his quarters, and And he goes, "Now, are you sure about this? Tattoos are permanent."
I unholster out of my shorts my scimitar
Mm.
and hold it out, and I say, I show him the nail,
Mm.
and I say, I believe that I may be able to help more people because of what I've seen on the ship. I have this internal thought, but I need these tattoos to help me. And so that's why I want you to make these tattoos on my hands. Can you make this design?
I should be able to do it.
I assume that the sword, the nail kind of glows. You know, it's always got that kind of
Oh,
aura.
well,
Right.
he is quite clear. The nail is not like the nail is being melted onto it, where
Yeah.
it's very indistinguishable. It does stand out.
Yeah.
And he's looking at it and he goes, "Thing to be clear, though, is going to be the. I don't have any inks for red here. It's just going to be bog standard blue ink I've got."
That's all I want.
Okay.
I don't want anything fancy. I don't want anything significant. I just want the nail.
All right. Right. Give me a second. And
I
what?
put the sword down and I kind of walk with him with my hands out.
What?
Look,
And he goes, "Look, I'm not going to start tattooing you until I wash up my hands."
I appreciate that.
And the guy takes his time. You see, it's You know, he's being methodical about it. And goes, "It's a very simple thing, but I remember seeing what happens when I don't wash my hands with someone. They got a nasty infection. I don't really not the best thing to talk about. Nearly lost his arm. After that, I've always washed the hands before I even go near them."
The
And
Vatican always says cleanliness. I appreciate this.
you just see it. He rolls out his gear, and you see him actually mixing a few pigments together to produce the ink. And he just goes, "Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't have anything for the paint, and you're gonna need to hold still."
And I just put my hands on his counter,
Okay,
and I kind of brace myself against a wall.
okay. And he slowly just goes to taking his time delicately. He's going to work on it. He's taking the occasional time to look up, look at the nail, going, "Right, just make sure you're happy with how this is going. Anything I'm missing out?" And he's walking you through it. Gets the first hand takes nearly 2 hours to do, but the second one literally just takes an hour. The fact that he knows what you're wanting, he's able to speed up the process there. And he then just goes and says, "Yeah," hands you a bottle, or puts a bottle and says, "You might want to pour that lightly onto the skin, just dab it. It's going to sting like hell, but it should kill off any infection."
I'd like to lay on my hands, and close my hands like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to have you do the roll. He's just going to go. So I think as you're doing it, he's literally just like, he's cleaning up. His back is towards you as you're doing this, right? And he just goes, "What was that glow?"
And as I open my hands, the glow continues a bit as it settles. And what are the tattoos still there? and they're just etched in my skin, right by the thumb bones.
Yeah.
And I say, I may come to you again, but for now, thank you.
Here you go.
And
he's just like, yes, of course, any time, and he's just like holding the door open for you.
if you ever need me, my name is Ren, and I leave back to my door, back to my quarters.
As you're walking down the corridor, can I get you to give me a focus roll? There.
3.
You're sensing something, but you're not sure what. It's for a brief second. There's a sense of nothingness somewhere around you, but it then disappears.
Okay. I want to see how you play this. You know me, I've always got some unique things. When do I sense it? Like just as I'm leaving?
Yep. I'll pick up tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow. Okay. Sorry. Yep.
Do I sense it right when I'm leaving?
It's not right when you're leaving. It's probably, I say, you're walking down the corridor, maybe 50, yards or meters away. No, whichever one you want to use.
Yeah.
Down, you're just walking down the corridor, and it's just a feeling of darkness. It's probably the best feeling that you can think of.
So here's what I want to do. Wherever I'm sensing it, if it's like, kind of by my shoulders, or, I'm just kind of looking around, I would like to take my hand and point it and see if I kind of if I get if I get like a holy glow.
The issue is when you're trying to do it, you're not getting any glow, but it's confusing because one moment you're sure it'll be like like a floor above you, maybe just behind you.
Okay.
The next second you're 100% sure it's just ahead of you. Other moment you just feel it's like to the left of you, and it's just boom, boom, boom. As you're trying to focus on one place, you're then sure that the feeling that you're getting is somewhere else entirely.
I am going to head back to my quarters and meditate, but I'm going to kind of hold an action, if you will. I'm going to invoke right place, right time the next time that I hear of someone in trouble based on this. I am going to meditate and ask God to put me in the right situation to help based on that.
Right. That only works if you're not in the scene there, but
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That I'm going to take myself out, so that way, if something happens, I'm going to be in that scene when it happens.
Okay.
So I'm intentionally taking myself out to activate it.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
I want to point out, I guess right place, right place, right time. Does it?
I think the way if you're going to be doing it this way, the idea of it is you're probably meditating to the point, even if someone's hammering on the door, you're ignoring it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how, just based on how you're describing it, that's how
I'm being in tune divinely. Does that take a fate point or no?
No, I would say if it needs a fate point or not. It does.
Okay. So then I just want to point out that I did all of that stuff and none of it required any of my fate points. Because I have a grand total of 1 fate point that I get to refresh, and I have 2 fate points, so I don't even get them all back at the end of a session.
Yep.
So I did all that, no fate points, because I'm gonna have to be conservative in this game from now on.
I don't think you need to be conservative. I just need to hit you with troubles. That's it.
Well, you can tell I find unique ways to do it.
All right. Okay. Back to Wooster. So, you've had your wee training montage, okay? There. And I'm going to offer you a fate point to cause a wee complication for yourself if you're willing to accept it.
Gimme.
You, as you're trying to do all your kind of, work out how to control your abilities, one of your wee experiments went a wee bit of awry there. And you actually blasted a hole in the side of your stateroom.
It does appear I need to move.
Yeah. So
Sorry about that, Miss Relish.
So if you take it, what's happening is like when you're walking through the shop, everyone's going to be talking about, they're going to be talking about when they find out about Sunhum and then hear about this, they're going to be talking about someone's after your family. Okay.
So the rumor has spread.
Yeah.
It was a mistake bringing the captain and the entourage with us. It will.
So you'll get a fate point for that. Okay. So because of that, the crew's finally put out the wee fire and they're getting you reset into another room with Mr. Relish's help. But to calm your nerves, you went down into one of the restaurant areas of the ship, and you're at the bar section just having a drink to calm your nerves. And you feel a tap on your shoulder. It's a very plump gentleman there with a beetroot face, just scowling at you and goes, "If I'm correct, you're Redwood, aren't you?"
Yes, I am Lord Wooster of the Redwood House.
Well, can you then explain to me, Lord Redwood, why your family has diverted the ship?
I can.
Well, what's the explanation?
Now that is an entirely different matter. Please sit down. Can I offer you something to drink, perhaps? You seem to be awfully upset. I do hope this inconvenience has not made you miss any important meetings.
I had a merger planned with an interest in America.
That is most unfortunate. Please do. Pardon, can you bring us some scotch? Brandy or scotch?
scotch.
Make it a double. On my treat, obviously. Please sit down. Let us discuss it. And let us discuss the situation. Unfortunately, it was a matter of life and death. Unfortunately, death in this occasion. The whole situation has led to rather unfortunate incidents. It appears that my my father-in-law, or stepfather, sorry,
Stepfather.
my finished English translation was a bit of. My stepfather was apparently blackmailed into doing this against his will. The culprits unfortunately managed to escape, but the investigation is in hot pursuit.
Hold on. Is this Is this what that explosion was all about?
I cannot divulge any more information.
Redwood, if there's people blowing up a ship here, you have to let us off.
If you wish, we are in the middle of the Mediterranean at the moment. The nearest harbor is at Jaffa, but I do suppose I could arrange for you to get off the ship at earliest convenience, but that does mean that we can't get you to England.
Right. I want you to put in. And I think every other passenger will agree that we would want you to put into the nearest port as soon as possible and let us off the ship. We can make our own arrangements.
Might I inquire upon your name, sir?
It's Geoffrey Bacon.
Mr. Bacon. I'm sure you can appreciate that the matter is kept to the quiet in order as to not escalate the situation any further and avoid any future explosions.
Is that a threat?
No, it is a matter of fact. If there is an escalation, it might lead to unfortunate side effects. I cannot be held responsible for factions that are working against me, unfortunately. As much as I might want to do that, it didn't work with Germany either, did it?
As he's about to say something, a hand is placed on his shoulder. And you find yourself looking at quite a tall, musculature gentleman. Very clean shaven, with oiled back hair. And he's just, in a very calm voice, he goes, I think you have bothered the ship owner maybe a bit too much. It's clear that he has other responsibilities. And there is other people that are needing to speak to him. So if you don't mind, good sir, can you give me and Lord Redwood a moment? It looks like Mr. Bacon's about to argue there, but he just stops, sputters for a second, and then just walks off in a hurry. The other gentleman sits down. He's immaculate attire, but one thing is, the suit's fantastic, but the thing that stands out is the tie is something unusual because it appears to be like a noose that's hanging around the gentleman's neck.
Thank you for dealing with the unruly customer. May I buy you a drink, sir?
Oh, no. I don't partake myself. Though I am seeking to speak to you in regards to a matter of business.
Then perhaps you seem to know myself, but I do not recall ever meeting someone with as um, impressive physique as yourself in matters of business.
Hmm. Oh, I think I should introduce myself, shouldn't I?
I've heard it to be a very
Hmm.
integral part of any
Of
negotiation.
course. Nicodemus Archleon.
Very well, Mr. Nicodemus.
And as he's saying that, he holds out his hand for you to shake.
Ah, yes. I see you are the American type. Very well.
Can I get you... focus here as you're shaking this hand.
I would like some scotch, but since it's focused, it's a flat 0.
It's a perfectly normal handshake.
Actually, never mind, never mind. I don't
Okay.
have anything here that I could pull on.
He just goes, yes. I believe you have recently come into possession of a certain artifact.
Well, that would be the first time I've heard of it. Please, enlighten me.
A rod, gold and black.
Well, that is quite the description. Might I ask what that hold is for? Who made it? Where was it found?
It would have been carried by your late stepfather.
Ah, yes. Unfortunate business. I have yet to locate my dear stepfather. He was supposed to be on the ship when it reached Alexandria, but unfortunately no one has found a shred of him.
You have found them. You know you have. That very unpleasant outline.
You seem to know a lot more about this than I do. Care to enlighten me on the specifics? I wish to hold my flair.
Okay. Right.
If there's anything the bargain offer, let me buy.
So what is it that you're trying to...
I am trying to get him to reveal more to me
Right,
about
okay.
matters than he did.
Alright, fair enough,
I
okay.
do.
Right, this is going to be a contested roll here. Okay?
Fair enough.
And now,
That's a 4.
and I'll just make sure I'm on the right page of the book for this guy. He just smiles at you and he just goes, what I know is this. You're newly in possession of it. And I know that you have a companion with you who carries a certain sword.
And
Well, it's very simple. I propose a swap. The rod, you give it to me, and your companion will get one of the swords back. Its previous owner lost it.
it appears this rod is quite valuable to you indeed.
Hmm.
More valuable than the sword. But what guarantees do I have that you would even have the sword to give him?
He just looks to the side, and the gentleman that's been serving you will pull out from underneath and lay down uh, an, an object onto the table, and it's actually covered in black cloth. He will undo the cloth, and in the midst of this cloth is a katana, and on the hilt is another nail on it. And when you look at this nail, you're getting the same sense of feeling that you did off of Renn's sword.
Well then, that doesn't appear to be quite the artifact.
Mm-hmm. It's very simple. This artifact has been touched by God. It's like the artifact I'm asking for is a mere trifling. Instead, it's a very simple exchange, surely.
Ah, well, first off, you do seem to downplay my intelligence quite a bit. Nobody makes an offer where they don't gain more than they lose.
Well, it's very simple. There. Take the offer to the knight. There. If you don't accept the offer, I keep this, and eventually I'll learn how to destroy the artifact and undo it.
Destroyed. Please explain to me why it needs to be
Yes.
destroyed.
Yes, Evan?
Sorry to cut you off, Wooster. It was a good time for this.
Yep.
So when he says take it to the knight and take the offer, I step out of the doorway and I say he doesn't have to. I'm already here.
Ah, Sir Knight.
Do I know anything about this gentleman through my contacts?
You've never met this gentleman.
Have I heard of him? Do does any of my order know Nicodemus Leon?
Of course your order knows about him. It's the reason why your order exists.
Okay, so then I know about him. Tell me a little bit about what my character knows about
Yes.
Nicodemus Leon.
Nicodemus Archeleon is the head of the Order of the Blackened Daenerys. And I apologize for my pronunciation. The 30 silver coins that Judas Iscariot was given was possessed by 30 fallen angels. And these are the champions of hell on earth. The fallen angels, they cannot act by themselves. They need to have their coins possessed and held by a human mortal. But over time they become the avatars to these fallen angels, and that's how they make their actions on the world. Your order's purpose there is to obstruct them. If you can, you're there to actually ensure the salvation of the host and give them a chance to come back to the light and receive God's forgiveness. Your job is not to kill them or destroy them. Your job is to give them the chance to salvation. And of course, then, if you can, retrieve the coins and ensure that they're kept away and out of sight, out of mind for people.
So the gentleman that I'm talking to is a vessel, or is the actual fallen angel?
He's the vessel, but it depends. Some of them, eventually the angel would fully possess the body. Some of them work in concert. Okay? You recognize the name because you don't know a lot about him. All you know is he's the head of this order, and he's been operating for 2,000 years. He's the oldest one.
Okay. Okay. I look over at him and I say, Nick, how's Tessa doing these days?
He just goes, "Oh, so your order still retains a wee bit of knowledge there. I know you've never met Tessa, my beloved, else you wouldn't be alive to speak of it."
I say, because if I remember right, it wasn't Aaron's rod, but it was a rod of something.
No, it wasn't Aaron's rod. This rod in question it's just an Egyptian pharaoh. It looks like just an Egyptian pharaoh's rod, right? But instead of the blue and gold pattern, the blue is swapped with black.
Okay. I say, yeah, I'm sorry, Nick, you just missed the rod. Gonna have to go with a different plan this time. And then I turn to Wooster before Nicodemus starts pontificating, and I say, Wooster, have you met my buddy Nick? Nick is the embodiment of the archdemon. So he is the leader of a bunch of fallen angels. Just so you know, I hope you didn't take his hand or anything.
I hate this concept of us being fallen. I call us free. We embody free will.
I said, well, you know, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I happen to have misplaced that rod. I'm real sorry about that. But I don't think you're going to find that on the ship. And you can tell Tess because I felt her around a little bit. I wasn't quite sure what that was until I saw you, and now it makes sense. You could tell Tess that she's not going to find it quite either. So, we can let you off at Jafar if you want. I've heard, from what I understand, that's the next port. I'm sorry you traveled all this way.
And he just goes, no, it's you. I've still to come into your power. It wasn't my wife that you were feeling. It was my companions, but not my wife.
Oh, I know Audriel very well. I'm just saying that I'm going to assume a demon like you has a couple of side pieces.
You weren't feeling myself or my sponsor, as you could say. There. And it's as he's saying that, you notice his shadow moves of its own volition.
Mm-hmm.
It's growing larger. But as this is going on, there's two other shapes kind of form. One quite shadowy off to his left, and one to his right there, where it looks like the air, simmers. When there's what you get when there's a huge amount of heat.
Heat wave, yeah.
Just this kind of shimmer in the air, and that intensifies until a form wreathed in flames starts to appear into the air.
Where is in the room?
Yeah.
I'm in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
How far away is Nicodemus, and how far away is Wooster? And are there any other civilians that I'm seeing that are like shocked by this whole thing?
Basically, as this display happens of his shadow getting bigger and his compatriots showing themselves, there is gasps or screams, there's panic, and people are starting to run, because this is like, imagine it being a bar, at one end, and the other end is like the first class dining restaurant this is in. People are actually pushing themselves away, and you actually find that as people are trying to run out, they're getting blocked by figures in black that have a collection of weapons, from what appears to be Tommy guns, rifles. Some appear to have swords. Some appear to have blackjacks, and they are forcing the crowd. And he goes, I quite simply just want a simple swap, and nothing needs to happen to this crowd or the ship. It is a shame what has happened to the other ships of its class. She's the last of her kind. It'd be a shame if she was to hit a mine, or her boilers were to explode and split the hull in two.
Give me a minute. Okay. All right. I look around at the people. I look at Wooster, and I kind of want to see his reaction. Is he scared? Is he ready? Is he indifferent to the whole thing? I'm not looking for it's kind of a visual cue, but since I can't do that visual cue here, I'll be more than happy if Wooster states, what he looks like.
Well, unlike the panicking crowd, Wooster is sitting there like the manners of somebody who owns the ship and is being threatened by some punk with a knife while he's surrounded by his own crew. Like, seriously, you're gonna pick a fight here?
I look at Nicodemus. And I say, okay, Nicodemus, I'll play. You know that I can save this ship, but you also know it can only be for a little bit of time. You always know more than each one of us singularly. That's part of what makes you you. I know that, you know that, and you know that I know that. I have a counter deal for you.
Pray tell, it's interesting to hear a knight of the cross wanting to deal for once. You might actually live on this occasion.
I don't like making deals with demons. You know that if there were any that would be opposed, it would be the three of our order. However,
Actually, make it 2 of your order.
that's what I was going to say. That somehow you have my brother's sword.
Yes, it was such a shame what happened. And you yourself were quite lucky. You were just a bit more cautious when you were in Rome last time.
Well, I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I don't think you've quite seen my full power either, but I'd like to make a proposition with you.
Pray tell, what is it?
I would like the sword. I would like the rod, and I would like the people safe. That's a lot to ask. In exchange, I'd like to offer you something that I don't know how many times you'll get the opportunity to have. And that is, I'd like to be indebted to you. And that if you call on me for a favor, I would have to perform that favor, even as it goes against my faith. It's not often you get a Knight of the Cross in your corner.
It's very rare indeed. You know I could force you to do anything there.
I know. And you know just as much that my faith will do anything it can to protect me. But at least for a little while, you would get it. Here are my terms. There's no trickery with the sword. When I get it, it's mine. And I can do what I choose with it.
Of course.
You never seek the rod again, and you'll find other ways to, I assume, do your masterful plan. Once my debt to you is done, I am free to stop you any way that I can, or at least try. And no person on this ship can ever be harmed by you. Now, I know you, and I know you love the fine print. So that doesn't mean that anyone else can't be, because you know that would be asking quite a lot. But I can at least preserve the ones that made it on board today.
I'll be honest with you. You're more intriguing than some of your predecessors.
Want to shake on it? And as I do, I show him the glowing aura that is my hands.
Child, you think that scares me?
I'm not asking for scared. I'm asking to see where the chess pieces fall.
And he goes, "You've, I think, Ren, that you will come to regret this deal." And he will come and actually grasp your hand. And he goes, "As a gesture of good faith, I won't touch the sword anymore, and me and my compatriots will depart from this place. But as you said, you owe me a favour."
And you'll know where to find me, as you always do.
Of course. And it's just what happened as that happens. Individual portals open up, and everyone in Nicodemus' party just steps backwards, and they close all the way up. And there on the table is the katana Fidelkis.
I pick up the sword, and I want to see if it glows.
He was good as his word. He hadn't touched it.
No, but I want to see if it attunes to me specifically.
Oh, it responds to you, but because you're already bare.
That's what I was figuring out.
Yeah.
I look over and I say, Wooster, come here for a second.
Well, I see you turn around. Lord Wooster is standing there.
And I say, pick up the sword.
Wooster lays his hand upon the sword.
Anything happen?
He touches it. He feels a wee warm glow, but
I do not believe this is the interaction you were hoping.
No, but it gave me a suspicion. And I'd like to try one more thing.
Right, what was that?
I look over and I see Mr. Relish.
Mr. Relish, I do believe it is you want to try.
He'll walk up. He'll touch the sword and he'll give it.
I'm not done yet.
Oh. What are you trying to do here?
You should know me. I'm a very tricky man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I would like to place a barrier of faith on the sword so that if he touches it, he'll be protected from danger.
Yeah, it's not going to work like that. There.
Yeah.
I gave it a shot, folks.
Yeah.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah, the barrier needs to be geographically
As you basically cordon off an area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works. I do suppose it works with a ship because it's big enough.
Basically, if he was to do like say, if the ship was in dry dock and he did an outline around the ship there, and he had the faith to do it, yeah, he could do that. He could.
Well, that's why I told him. That's why I told Nicodemus that I could help the ship, but I couldn't do it for very long. That was why I stated it that way. So I say, all right, well, I had a suspicion it might be one of the two of you, but if not, if you'll hand me the sword, we'll find its rightful owner.
You do realize I would have given away the rod if you had asked me to.
I know, but if Nicodemus wants something, there's always a price. I might be able to handle it, and it will cost me, and I know that it will cost me. But there's a reason he wants it. And if he wants this rod, I don't know what it does yet, but it can't go into anyone else's hands. For now, you need to hold this rod, and no one else but you should hold this rod. And as much as I like you, Mr. Relish, there are times when even the best of friends may be separate. This one is your cross to bear now.
And I think at this point, we'll go into a break and be back. We'll make it a nice round number at 7:45 there, and we'll continue the story.
See you in 10.
Yep.
Toodles.
Toodles.
Might as well make it more interesting.
Fair enough. And we're back on. Okay, and that's us back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you like my new demonic look? It might not look any different. But
You look hornier than usual.
So everyone calms down and settles in for the night. And as you gentlemen go to sleep, we'll start with Evan. There. You wake up and, well, you find yourself in... From the fake outlines, it looks like you're flat in Rome.
I don't know what you mean by flat. in Rome.
Apartment.
Oh, I'm in an apartment in Rome.
Yeah,
okay.
your apartment there.
I thought you meant I was horizontal
No.
somewhere
No.
in Rome. So I'm
Sorry.
confused. Okay.
We use flat instead of apartment. in the
Got
UK.
it. Okay. So I'm in a house in Rome. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your one, actually. It's your place.
Okay. Okay.
So you're looking around, but it's
This is still a dream state.
yeah.
Okay. Because I
it's-
was like, we're not going anywhere near Rome, so I just wanted to confirm that.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it's just you're looking around. There's just a blurriness and that, and there's just a feeling of heat there because, as I said, the air seems to wave as you look around, and you move through it, and it's like your body is just slow to react. It feels like your body's just moving through treacle. There,
Through what?
treacle. There, syrup.
Syrup.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You'd think of it as, and eventually you get.
So I'm swimming through it on the street. I'm.
Well, it's just like it feels like the air's heavy. It's like you. It's not like
the air feels thick.
yeah.
Okay.
And you're moving through, and you eventually find yourself looking in front of the mirror,
Okay.
and you notice instead of your silver cross hanging at your neck, there's a darkened disc.
A disc,
Yeah,
like DISK.
yeah.
So it's like a frisbee around my neck.
No, not a frisbee. It's just a small circular object there.
Okay, but where?
Hang around your neck.
In place of
The cross, yeah, in place.
In place of. Got it. Okay.
Okay, in place of your crucifix.
It's like the coin. It's the Judas's coins.
And as you're pulling it up, as you see, it's blackened, but on one side is a sigil on it. And as you hold up, a voice just says, "You belong to us now." Welcome.
I look down at my hands. I want to see if the nails are still there.
The nails there, but over the nails in your hand, so over the nails is a symbol that's on the coin. There.
And what is that symbol?
You would believe it to be the symbol for one of the angels, but at the moment you're not sure which one it is.
Okay.
But
I was trying to remember what I was going to say.
yeah, sure.
Is my name on the coin?
So, it's when you're looking at the coin, it's not that there's like your name written on it, but what you feel. Give me a focus roll here, please.
not a mantle roll? Well, mantle is faith, right? All right.
No, no, no.
3.
Okay. The way it's described, I can describe it to you, is as you look at the coin, it feels like a part of yourself is in the coin, and at the same time, something in the coin is also residing in yourself there.
Okay.
You feel it's like when you're holding the coin and you're grasping it in your hand, it's like you can feel your whole heartbeat emanating from the coin
Okay.
there.
Okay.
That,
Does it feel, because obviously this is an embodiment of evil.
Mhm.
Does it feel, if we were to describe the coin as if it was a moon, okay?
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's wholly evil? Does it feel like it's a half moon, a sliver?
As you're focusing on it, you see a flash of light. So it's like as you're sorry, I'll restate this. So when you're focusing on it, you get an image, and that image is darkness,
Okay.
but there is at the same time a sense of heat and pressure, and then suddenly there's light all around, and slowly things start to coalesce and the stars start to appear and everything.
It's a swirl. Is that what I'm getting?
So it's darkness and then it's bright flash of light, and as basically the flash starts to disappear in your eyes, the twinkle of stars start to appear and everything form, and you sense a will around you as things are formed.
Well,
A
W-E-L-L.
will, W-I-L-L, a will. Right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Or a sense of being, I should say. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Along with it is, a smaller being there that's just feels like it's just hovering over your shoulder. And the voice that initially sounded quite gruff and masculine softens up and becomes quite feminine, and she just says, I sometimes miss the simpleness of these days, the beauty and everything.
What does the face look like? What does the thing on my shoulder look like?
You're just looking. It's just best way I could describe it is it's like a kind of humanoid form, but it's just the brightness coming from the skin.
Okay.
Just obliterates your ability to see any kind of features. You get the hint of something there, but
And so it's a dude on my shoulder.
well, initially started off sounding quite masculine, but as time is passing, the voice is softening up there.
Okay.
And they're just going, very much simpler time there.
I look over at it and I say, "Yeah, it's simple, but it's just not as much fun."
Exactly. Ultimately, everything that came about is due to their creation of your kind.
Is the mirror still in front of me?
The mirror's disappeared. It's like you're standing in this void. You know, there's, you know,
I'm just surrounded
yeah.
by the stars and things.
Hmm.
And I say out loud, um, not necessarily to the light on my shoulder, but kind of almost as if to reassure myself, to say it will be simpler. It I have faith.
And the voice just says, "Child, you may think you have faith, but I have known God. You're just a child. You cannot understand God."
Can I see the face, or is it too blinding for me to look at the face?
It's starting to kind of dim now.
Okay.
And you're starting to
Okay.
make out more features, and it's like slowly but surely you start to see hair flowing down the back there. And as the light, reduces there, the form just becomes immaculate, and it's a form of a woman. Her skin alabaster white.
And I say, uh, who art thou that knows God?
I, who used to be a seraphim.
Do I see my sword, or is it just me?
It's just yourself.
I say, our kind is volatile, but we are made in his image. He will prevail through me.
Your kind has failed against us time and time again. All you thou do is delay.
Sometimes you need to work both ends of the candle to make sure the wick stays lit.
I think the Vatican has blinded you to true faith.
Ooh, I like that statement.
You repeat these phrases, but you do not have understanding of what they mean. It's just a call and response for yourself. It gives you a sense of comfort.
If I hold my hands out, Havoc style in the X-Men, right?
Right, okay.
Do I feel any aura, good or evil?
What you feel is you feel a on the outer edges of it. It's a sick. It feels sick and greasy, but at right in the corner, well, not in the corner, I should say, right in the center, is a spark.
What color? What's it feel like?
White.
I look at the seraphim and I say, let me be, angel. You may have known God, but I will know God.
And he will disappoint
Yeah.
you.
That's your problem, Seraph. You don't have faith. And I just want to essentially attack myself as much as I can in an effort to wake myself up if I need to, and just shoot my havoc beams just at myself because I'm done with this conversation.
Okay. You wake up in a sweat. There. And as you look down at your hand, the hand. So which hand did you hold out to Nicodemus?
I did both. Oh, to Nicodemus.
Yeah.
Was my right hand.
It was your right hand. In your right hand is actually burnt. It's a shape and the size of a coin, and deeply indented is that sigil that you saw earlier in your dream.
Okay.
Right. You just stare at that and you're not sure what that means and what that's going to mean for you.
I know that I'm channeling both sides, and that part of my deal is that I don't get to choose when that happens. And so until then, I have to be in the state of flux. And that's always part of any demon's deal. That you get that discomfort of not knowing where you stand. That uncertainty. And so I don't choose to meditate because I don't want to deal with them right now. Instead, I go to Ghibli in the boiler room.
Oh, Jimmy, you mean?
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
And I ask if I can help him with his work a little bit.
Okay. It's just the camera pans away as that happens, and we come to the room that is currently occupied by Wooster Redwood. He's tossing and turning there, and wakes up in a dead sweat. What was the dream you had, sir?
By the time he wakes up,
Mhm.
his sweat
Mhm.
wiped off. The dream he had
Mhm.
is already going away.
Mhm.
There's only the existential terror left behind.
Mhm.
Shadows of the old fears.
Mhm.
But there was a bright explosion in them. There's something coming towards and going. But now, what is the time?
You look over and you see from the unearthly green of the radium painted onto the actual clock arms, it is 1:45 in the morning.
It's far too early, but since I'm awake, I might as well distract my thoughts a bit. Go through stepfather's journal, see if there's some more clues on what's going on. And also, I need to find somebody else to run the company as quickly as possible. Can't just leave it as it is for long. Send a message to the board to choose an acting CEO while I try to find a permanent one. How's Victoria could handle this? They wouldn't accept a woman as a CEO, would they? They would if I told them, but would they follow her orders? Oh dear. It's a lot to think about. Maybe I need to go back to England as soon as possible. But I did promise to go to Jerusalem.
You're
Well,
As you're talking about this, you you see a gleam of light that's bathing the room, and you just slowly turn your head to look, and it's your father's journal. But on this occasion, when you're looking at it, it just seems to be a very tiny sliver of the book is shining. It's like as if a single page is awash in light. The original writing there, the chicken scratch that you couldn't read, slowly resolves itself into English that you can read, and the handwriting matches the handwriting that preceded right at the beginning. It's your father's handwriting. It comes out slowly. To my son, I fear my time is short. I fear that if you are reading this book, then certain prophecies, ancient prophecies, are coming to pass that I wish would lay buried for all time. It is hard for me to write this message because if you're reading this, it means that I am dead. And I'm not there to instruct you in your true heritage, as my father had done with me and his father had done with him, all the way back thousands of years. Our family is of an ancient line of magical practitioners. There is an artifact that you will find along with this journal. It's our family's duty to protect it. This rod is the rod that is used by the cult of Anubis in their ceremonies. But a long time ago, an ancient high priest decided that he wanted to become Anubis himself and not be the high priest anymore. In order to do this, he needed to prepare sacrifice that killed thousands. A few of us, people like our family, decided to band together, and we sealed his soul into a sarcophagus and took the artifacts that he had invested his power into and spread it amongst the world. But prophecy stated that our ancestors would not have the power to rid him. The power would come later. But when that power to get rid of that ancient spirit arrives, that same spirit would be released upon the world once more. To plunge the world into darkness. I won't go into all the details of all the symbols and to indicate the prophecy came to pass, but as the day of your birth nears, more and more of the fated symbols are appearing in the skies. I am afraid that if I see the last symbol, it means that you will find yourself without any guidance, as it will also mean that I have to die just as you're born. They might tell you that I died due to some accident, but it's not an accident that led to my death. I will have been murdered by the people who seek to gain the power of this high priest. In this journal, you will find my knowledge. Learn it. Prepare yourself for what's to come. You may need to find aid from members of the White Council, but your true safety will only come about if you find the other artifacts. Unfortunately, this rod is one of them. I do not know what the remaining artifacts are, as that knowledge has been forgotten by our family. But if the other artifacts are found, and he sees the rod, then darkness will rule the lands once more. And it just stops there. And the light just fades away from the journal.
It appears I must go to England after all. I need to study the library, see if there's something he missed, some notes, and look the other object I saw. Where they are. I look outside and notice the sun has already risen. It was one page.
Yeah, it did a Star Wars, you know, it just scrolled up as you read it. George Lucas, do not sue us.
I do suppose we land in Jaffa today. We'll take the train to Jerusalem. Whew. We'll have to be quick about it. No time to tally. If we want to join the Olympic on its cruise back to home. Well, better get ready. Ding ding. Alish, you up?
From the side door, the door opens and you see Relish just finishing off the final lot on his tie and goes, you rang, sir.
Ah, yes, do prepare breakfast for me at your earliest convenience. Or have it delivered.
Breakfast.
You don't do that while we're on the ship. They have cooked for okay.
I've been advised they will have breakfast shortly in the next 5 minutes for you, sir.
Actually, never mind. I'll take it to the mess hall. But if you could, please find the American and advise him that as soon as we land, we are to hit the railway station. Please do try to radio in and have them arrange for tickets for the next train towards Jerusalem.
Yeah, I'll see to that.
Or failing that, a motor car.
Yeah, I'll see to that, sir. And he'll close the door behind him. So, and he'll walk down the corridor. And when he finds the suitable apartment, he will just chap on the door and disturb the sleep. Well, would actually, you've had a bad night. You're trying to recover from the nightmares you've had.
I'm not in my room.
Ooh.
I'm down in the I'm down in the boiler room.
Oh, you're still down there. You haven't went. So you.
Because I
you did.
probably woke up around 3 or so, and I've been there for a couple hours.
Right,
So
you
Renn
haven't
wouldn't, Relish wouldn't know where to find me.
Yeah, see, he'll knock on the door. You'll open it and just find basically the bed's been tossed, you know, because like Duvey's, just tossed and turned. And he's just gonna sigh and goes, bloody American forever going. Why can't he just be where he's meant to be? Always giving me something more work to do than anything else. He's gonna walk out and he's gonna find that, take a couple of steps down and there's a wee service phone, and pick it up and he's gonna ring a number and goes, yes, this is Mr. Relish, Lord Redwood's butler. He's requested the presence of Mr. Renn. He's currently not in his room. Can you ask for him to be found, please? Thank you. And he just puts the phone down. And now we will actually go to the night in the boiler room. There. So, what's it? So, are you still stoking the boiler room, or are you the boiler? Or are you?
Yeah, it's been a couple hours. I've just been I probably got up about 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I just went down and talking to Jimmy and just kind of regaling adventures back and forth while we're just tending to the ship. Getting some physical work in. I think the only thing of note really is I asked him for a couple leather straps if they're around in a work area.
He goes, not a lot of straps. We've got a few leather aprons that are starting to get a bit ratty. Why?
And I showed him the sword from before. I already showed him that. I bring out the katana.
Yeah.
I bring out Fidelicus, and I say, I don't have. I used to be able to put my scimitar to where it wasn't seen, but now I have two, and I need a way to hide them. And I wanted to know if you could find a way to strap them or make a strap for my back.
He's just looking. And he's like,
Because it can't be hidden anymore. This katana's too big, but I can hide it on my back if I need to.
he's just going. I feel like I'm going to turn my back and you're then going to present another weapon to me. Every time I turn around, you've got another weapon. How many do you have?
I just smiled to him. I'm like, no, there's only the two. I didn't even expect the second one until about 6 hours ago.
He's just moving around and he's like, I don't think I can do anything, but if you ask, if you go when you get into port, all right, there might be someone you can speak to.
Well, I just need a couple leather straps. I can make it myself. I just need a leather worker.
I can. As I said, there's a few ratty aprons that are. They were going to get thrown out, if that.
Yeah, if you're okay with me cutting them up, might help me for a few minutes. I need to pass the time. I'm more than willing to help you with the boiler again. I just need to let off some steam. And I just kind of give him a side eye as I say the word steam.
He just looks, don't give up your day job. And he goes, oh, I'll get the apron. Come.
Yeah, and I just wanna cut up the leather straps and make a back bandolier, so that I can take them off my back as opposed to from the sides. And then after that, I literally just take the backpack, basically the bandolier, and I just put it on a hook on the wall, and that's like at 3 a.m. And then for the next couple hours, I just tend to the ship, and I just give him a break a couple times, and you know there's no motive there.
Yeah.
It's just getting out some frustration.
Yeah.
And so by the time.
Yeah, he's just got a smile on on his face as he tries to see you just do, give him a break and to see you work up a sweat,
I mean, I'm still a physical guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
But he's just going, yeah, you need to pick up the pace, bit faster. Nope.
That's it. The ship will be fine. The ship will be fine. I got it. And so by the time daylight breaks, that's where I am. So.
Eventually,
and just kind of finishing up, and I say, all right, thanks for letting me blow off some steam, and I still give him that look again because it's been about 2 hours since I did that joke the first time.
Yeah, as you're saying that, he just froze, basically. He just throws a pouch of water towards you, right?
Oh, can he not throw a hammer? I thought he would throw the hammer. Because I will 100% make a haste roll to try to dodge the hammer.
Oh no, he throws the water first, and he says, Yeah, seriously, cool off first. The heat's getting to you.
And I said, thanks. I'll catch you the next time. Catch you the next time I'm in town. And I just start heading back to the to my quarters right about daybreak.
And can I get you to do a haste roll now?
1.
Take one stress that's just going to get wiped. You just feel a clock on the back of your head, and you
I
look.
just look.
Just come to rest on the floor. There's a lump of coal.
I say, Christmas isn't for a couple of months, but I appreciate it. And I just take the lump of coal with me as kind of a souvenir.
And you just hear him going, "Yeah, just don't come back, please."
And so I assume at some point I run into Mr. Relish on my way.
Oh no,
back.
you come across a shirt that's looking quite harassed, and
Okay.
flustered and sweating. He goes, "Finally, seriously, come with me."
And I'm far too exhausted and just kind of in shock to worry about doing anything else.
Mhm.
I just follow him where he's going.
And so he leads you back, and you come to the stateroom where breakfast has been set up, and Relish is laying down the breakfast in front of Lord Wooster Redwood.
So I want to point out what I look like at this given moment.
Oh yeah, you're covered head to
so-
toe in soot.
So okay. So we're at daylight. I've had 3-ish hours of sleep. I have a bandolier with 2 swords on my back, and I have a leather jerkin and just kind of work pants and just black coal all over me. And I walk in and I say, "You called, Mr. Redwood?" And I just kind of give him a knowing look.
Yes, I wanted to let you know that we will be arriving in shore, and we have arranged for the train ride to Jerusalem as agreed upon.
And I look at him and I say, "How'd you sleep last night?"
Whereas for the wear, I'm sure you don't seem to have slept at all.
I just show him my hand and I say, "Yeah, let's say that I had a few visitors come to me in the night. And you could just see the demonic symbol above my nails." And I say, "What about you? Anything interesting happen after we left?"
You do realize that there are much cleaner places to get nailed around this place.
And I just look at him and I say, "Okay, well done." Anything happened with the rod or the book last night?
Last night, mainly some revelations. Apparently, the scepter our friend Nicodemus was so interested in getting is related to the cult of Anubis that has been hounding us of late. Apparently, it is one of their relics required for their supreme power of some sort. There is more relics, and my family was entrusted in taking care of one of them. Apparently, the knowledge of the other relics is lost, but I doubt it. I believe the household library might have more information in it than first glance would give. So I'm hoping to get to England as quick as possible and back to Wendell to see through the library and try and find the older books if there's any mention of the other artifacts and better go find them.
Ezekiel might have word when we get to Jerusalem.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Ezekiel might have some news when we get to Jerusalem, and I can always look into the Vatican while you head to England.
It is also a very great possibility. The Holy See, I hear, has quite the library at hand. Also, my father mentioned something about the Council of White Mages. I suppose I should try and contact those as well.
The White Mages, you said.
Yes.
That's I'd heard of them before, but not a whole lot. But when I was asking for information, Ezekiel is part of the Council of White Mages. Maybe he might be able to help us on that too.
Perhaps that is an.
That was why they sent me his direction, because they said the Council of White Mages might be able to help us out, or at least give us some info. Yeah, it looks like we've got a couple of things in common, and from what I've learned, that's never a good thing.
The pleasure is mine.
Oh, not for you. Just whenever too many coincidences happen. I don't mind if we have coincidences, but you look at you in your nice fancy breakfast demeanor, and you look at me, and we already know the differences. I just mean
the bath is over there, behind that door.
Oh, you mean you guys haven't found indoor showers yet? Huh. Well, maybe it hasn't gone across yet. I guess you'll say you don't have people to take care of your dental work either. Huh, interesting. But my point is that I think we need to be wary, because there's just a little bit too many coincidences happening right now.
Well, at least we do have onboard tailors to take care of us.
We have onboard tailors. You could have told me that earlier. I was looking for a bandolier.
Well, you might have asked.
All right. Well, when do you need me off the ship to get to the train?
5 minutes after we docked.
When did we dock?
In about 3 hours.
Consider it done. And I grab some of the food that's on the table, and I just head off to my room.
Yeah, as he's done that, he's just left a massive soot stain on the plate.
Well, he'll learn one of these days.
And as I'm leaving, I just say, man, if it wasn't for me, the ship would still be like 50 nautical miles away. And like, I'm not even like saying this to anybody in particular. I'm just like mumbling it as I head out.
It might have been under the sea, actually.
You won't make it out of him yet?
I head back to my room, and I just kind of try to get my head straight. I try to look out the window and clean myself up a little bit, and use the sad excuse for showers that appear on this thing, and try to go from there.
Sad excuse. This is the first class. They have bath and shower.
Yeah, I know, but it's still Her Majesty's ship.
Excuse me, this is the RMS Olympic, not her HMS Olympic. There's a slight difference. We're talking one of the most premier cruise liners of our time.
So so I just get ready and get cleaned up and get ready to go.
And it's a lot better than you're used to, considering you did live in Italy.
Oh, yeah. When in doubt, we can always make fun of the Italians.
Yep.
At least it's not noodles that are pasta noodles that are coming out of the shower head.
All right.
It makes a difference when it's not me that's coming up with these slightly stereotypical racist comments.
I prefer to think of them as ethnicity. I mean, not race. Race is white people. Ethnicity is a different country. That's very different. All right. At the train or going to the train.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the ship comes into. I'm guessing there's nothing else you guys want to do on the ship. That's everything you.
Oh, I want to do one thing.
Okay. That's what I was wanting to clarify.
While he's taking the bath,
Yeah.
I've taken the liberty of acquiring him a proper gentleman's attire. And replacing that with his old clothing. Having his old clothes taken to the wash.
That's actually really funny. The one thing that I wanted to do was go to the tailor and see if they had a gallon hat for me, an American style hat. Not like a Texan hat, but a plantation hat, like Georgia or Tennessee, a deep South hat that I could wear. So that's actually really funny because we both had the exact same idea.
When he comes out, there's like the immaculately ironed out white shirt, the tuxedo, not tuxedo, but the tails of a gentleman. And
well, I've just got this image like Evan comes out looking like Colonel Sanders here. You know what?
yeah,
He's got black hair and doesn't have glasses, but it's the 1920s and he's an American, so there's really only one look, and it's Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, that is that with the what is it, the
bow tie? He's got a bow tie.
Is it the bow tie? Oh yeah, that. No, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Texans.
No, you're thinking of a bolo tie.
Yeah, it's the string tie, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Colonel Sanders has
yeah.
It's a very Southern style. The yes, my dear, yes, my oh my, that kind of style. So yeah, there's really only one style at that time, and the sad part is that people today that I work with and know still use that style, and it looks just really odd. But yeah, that is still a thing that exists. There you go. I'm stereotyping the people on both sides, and I've only done it twice today, which is significantly less than the other times that we've had so far.
Right.
So I get myself a nice plantation hat. Unlike Wooster, I could go get it, but it's in another room. So and I put on the slightly stuffy suit. Especially since he had it very obviously tailored, and I strap my bandolier of swords to the back of it, which basically just makes it so it looks like a gentleman's suit, but where it hasn't been fitted right in the back, and I start taking my leave.
Yeah. So you find yourself in Palestine here, and at this time in history, Palestine is actually occupied by the British government.
Yep.
So, as you're coming down, so the fact that the HMS Olympic gets pulled into, so it's not being able to fully pull into port because the port here is not deep enough to accommodate.
Point of note, it's not the HMS Olympic, it's the RMS Olympic, because you just corrected me on
course.
it. But yet,
Damn it!
Boom!
RMS Olympic, sorry, yep.
So we are making it to the shore by boat.
Yes, so smaller boats have actually pulled up to actually take off the passengers instead. So you've had so the crew have gently lowered a side ladder to deposit you onto the other boats that have pulled aside, and you're coming ashore. Mr. Relish is on the boat with you, and he's going, "Well, my lord, I've radio ahead There's no trains at the moment. There's something about a strike, but I've been able to organise a car and the fuel needed to get us to Jerusalem.
Well, that will be suitable, as long as we can get there.
I also radioed ahead and have booked, well, telegraphed ahead, and there's accommodation booked for us in the city.
Excellent.
I,
Right, you.
I didn't know how long we were going to be in the city, so I just told them that they will know when we tell them.
What day of the week is it?
I would say it'll be a Monday here.
I look over at Mr. Relish and I say, if we can get done what we need to, I'm hoping it'll be a week and a half. Because in my mind, I'm thinking that I want to be able to talk to Ezekiel at the Armenian church before services on Sunday. And it'll probably take a couple of days afterwards to get affairs in order.
Are you sure we are not done quicker than a week?
If you can give me access to the Armenian church, then hopefully it can only be a couple of days.
Well, getting access is one thing. Finding your man is another. Are you going to do
Oh,
it?
that part's the easy part. I guess I didn't tell you. He's the head of the whole thing.
And getting access to a church? Well, it should be easy enough. It's the whole city is under British occupation. I
Lead
don't
the
see who
way.
would stop us.
Lead the way, Captain.
I'll do the car. Oh,
I kind of try to struggle in because I'm not taking the swords off my back.
those seem really uncomfortable and not classy. Perhaps we could get a suitcase for them.
All right, if you got a suitcase, fine. Otherwise, they stay with
Relish, here's one from my father's quarters.
Of course, my lord. I say, and he's just going to say, to be honest, my lord, I actually kind of anticipated this might have been a request, so I picked a suitable suitcase in the first place. And he actually,
Excellent. Mr. Relish?
and he pulls out a suitcase. He goes, "This should be big enough for your purposes, sir."
I say, Mr. Relish, do you happen to have a hammer or a brand in your materials that you brought?
In what regards, sir?
I need a nail and a hammer.
I can obtain a nail and a hammer for you if you require.
And I say, that's okay. I put the swords. Actually, well, I'll do it this way, nice and easy. I put Fidelicus in the suitcase, and before I put Asparagus in the suitcase, because I'm not used to wielding Fidelicus, but I am used to wielding the rapier. I scratch. Sorry, because is there a rapier and a saber separate? What are the three?
Well,
Because that's a katana.
so that's a
Mine
katana.
is a saber.
Yeah, and the other one is actually a
Broadsword.
Yeah, broad.
Okay.
Okay.
So I slice across in the top left corner of the suitcase, so that way if there's ever like something happens and where somebody tries to take the suitcase, I'll at least know which suitcase it is. And then I put the saber in it. I've marked I've marked up the suitcase.
Okay. And he just goes, I'll just put that into the back, sir.
You'll put it next to me, but I appreciate it.
As you wish, sir. And you just hear this
Hey,
sigh.
Mr. Relish. And I look at it and I say, hey, Mr. Relish, I like you. No offense. Do you see my hand? I literally got a giant mark of evil on my hand yesterday. I'm a little paranoid right now. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't trust you. It's that I don't trust all the people on the roads.
And he just goes, very well, sir. Closes the door. And as the door closes, a soft voice purrs. I'm not that evil. And I don't bite much. Just
Where do I hear it?
It's just softly in your head.
Oh, okay. I just mentally say, cheers.
It'll be fun to see what happens.
Don't worry. I'll have my time too. And I actually I start humming. What's a good one? I start humming The Entertainer by Scott Joplin, just so that it reminds me of my roots, and that way it's at least something to focus on.
I'm trying to remember how that goes now.
Oh, well, that's Maple Leaf Rag. So that's what I'm thinking of. And I just kind of think. And, you know, just kind of trying to imagine Scott at the piano and try my best to just kind of tune out Demon Man.
The voice just goes, I'm more of a fan of Chopin myself.
So am I. That's why I'm thinking of Joplin.
Or actually, maybe Beethoven. And as the voice says that, you hear the dun go off in your head. And that
I start wait a minute. And we just kind of start having this this kind of musical battle. And I say, you know, Beethoven's not bad, but what about Holst? And you know, I just
Gustav, you mean?
Yeah.
The Mars, okay. Right, so as you're doing that,
Are you quite alright?
Yeah, I'm just, you know, Nicodemus doesn't like the music choices in my head. Oh, and on a related note, apparently he's in my head. So that's good to note for later. So if you need to cut my head off at some point, the katana's in there.
and you just hear the voice just go, and it's like, it's just a laugh and goes, yeah, you are, child. I'm not Nicodemus.
Might as well be. I don't really care. and I just continue doing music. And I go to the voice. I'm like, you can pontificate all you want right now. I don't care. At some point, I'll figure it out. Until then, I won't. I don't care. You do you. You want to be in my head? Hey, cool. Let me know what I'm thinking, man. Because sometimes even I don't know. Have fun and don't party too hard in there. And that's what I'm thinking.
How much of this have you said out loud, or is it all pure thought here?
The only thing I say out loud is yeah, don't party too hard in there.
Okay.
What month is it?
So it was so it'd been solstice for the night you were at Luxor. So summer solstice. So that would have been, God, July. Would it? No, hold on. I'm not trying to remember when the summer solstice, which month summer solstice is.
June
Summer
June.
solstice is
June
like at the end of
1st.
June.
June, yeah.
21st.
So June, you've then week back. Yes, so you're into July now.
Okay.
There.
I say.
Thanks, Blink.
Yeah, I go. I say to Wooster, on to Armenia,
Armenia?
the church,
No.
and you call us dumb.
Well, to be fair, Armenia is its own territory.
Armenia is its own country.
Yeah,
It was never-
exactly. Well, that's
yeah.
up.
Yes. No, it isn't. This is still Turkey.
Yeah.
That is still Turkey at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Armenia has never been captured in its history.
Yes, it has.
Mm-hmm.
Modern Armenia, no.
Nope.
But the predecessor, predecessor states have.
I think it's
My-
still occupied.
My point is, I intentionally say Armenia to get him to be confused, so that I could say the Armenian Church.
Okay.
Perhaps you want to be more specific in your requests, because going to Armenia is not out of the cards. Be careful what you wish for, or you may end up in the wrong place.
Blink. Is that your Armenia or Armenia?
Well, right now he's Menia to me. All right.
Yep. Armenia is independent at the moment. It's gained independence 1980.
So, car pulls off there. And it starts to make its way towards the city.
I feel like this is an excellent position for us to end the game.
That's what I was thinking also.
Excellent. Great minds think alike.
Yep.
Then why did I think of it before you guys?
We will not comment.
All right. Let's see here.
Yep.
Just going to Twitch.
Let's put on the after show.
Well, now,
So, how did you like meeting Nicodemus?
Who are we talking to?
All of you.
Oh.
well, it's a good point. It is definitely a good point to introduce a big bad guy when we can't at the moment when we can't actually do anything.
Yep.
And foil him.
I'll be honest. I was trying to figure out how you would go about it, or how because I knew there's possibly going to be a negotiation or maybe a standoff of some kind. I just wasn't expecting someone to go, how about I give you a big massive favour? No questions asked, you can call in any debt.
Yeah.
There. And it's like,
I always, I never like to make it easy. I always like to see the, if we can make it just a little bit more unorthodox.
yeah, that definitely worked, because I think in his head he wasn't expecting to get that deal ever, you know?
Yeah.
In his eyes, he sees that so being open-ended to his purposes. Okay, it delays him getting the rod, but the rod is probably, you don't know, it's maybe a short-term goal, or it's just one plot.
Mm-hmm.
You give him having a Knight of the Cross owe him a favour. Probably plays more into his hands than you can think of.
But I also have 2 out of the 3 swords. And that's power in itself.
How much power is the question? Is like by the looks of it, he's killed the previous owner.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Renn is a very calculating individual. Renn is a guy that lives in paranoia, that is the master of esoteric and mysticism. Renn is a character that is going to be thinking 5 or 6 steps ahead, even if he's going to play off this brazen, ignorant stereotype. He uses that to his advantage. Because if you guys remember, I mean, yes, he is by blood an American, but he spent a lot of his adult years in Italy and in a different culture than the U.S. He's a guy that is used to putting on a show and showing things that he wants to show people and not showing things that he doesn't want other people to know.
Yeah.
So he is very much the guy that kind of comes to mind when I think of kind of his plans. He definitely is lawful good, 100%. Even if he is, in his mind, he is serving Nicodemus in the short term to defeat him in the long term. So he is very much the ends justify the means in that regard. But he is, it's very interesting. As far as plans go, I think he really tries to be like the 7th Doctor, where
I'm trying to
Sylvester
McCoy, right?
Yeah, where he's got all the pieces, the chess pieces on the table, and he doesn't always know what the opponent's going to do, but he's at least going to try to have plan C, plan D, plan E. And that's where he's coming from, because if he lives his entire life in paranoia, you have to have a backup plan, right?
Yeah.
Because you're always anxious. So I think the character is very interesting to play.
Yeah. My main thing is I've never actually really watched the Sylvester McCoy Doctor Who. It was more Peter Davison and the Bakers. I watched.
Well, Peter Capaldi is also a good example. A little bit. I mean, I know he based it off the first one, but with Peter Capaldi, he was another one that was, okay, what's our contingency plan? What's our contingency plan for the contingency plan?
Yeah.
You know, and Renn is doing his best. He's a fighter, right? He's not he's an observant fighter, but he's a fighter. And so he knows that mystically he's not going to come out on top. It's not going to happen. He is a charge in battler. And so if he is going to try to attack this nemesis, he's got to think outside the box. Yeah. And so his it's an interesting dichotomy, because you have this not intelligent, but I would argue kind of wise fighter, or the other way around. You know, where he's got the strength, but like, you know, we were talking about this before the show for those that are in the audience, but I was making a D&D character at the time, because I enjoy building characters, you know, for D&D Beyond. And the way I view this character, you know, he's got a lot in strength. He's got a decent, you know, he's okay in dex. And he's that guy that, like, your dump stat for him is charisma.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is most of his interactions kind of require a little bit of charisma. And what's interesting is that's what Wooster brings to him. Wooster has that flair, has that charisma. And now that he has that asset, Renn is trying to battle these guys that he's not going to win unless he does something that's just out of left field that just throws them. Because if he just throws them, at some point he can manage his way in and get that slash. Because when he can get that slash, he can win. But until then, it's not going to happen. And so that's why, he does the banter with Wooster, because at least in Renn's mind, he views Wooster very much as the contingency, the thing that he doesn't have that can help him, the asset, that there's going to come a moment when he's not going to be able to talk his way out, that he's not going to be able, he's going to run out of options.
Yeah.
And Renn views Wooster as he's the ace in the hole for Renn. That Renn views Wooster as not, he's going to protect Wooster as long as he can, because he doesn't view Wooster physically. He feels superior to him physically. But he knows that if he doesn't protect Renn, or if he doesn't protect Wooster, something's going to happen down the line that is going to hurt him more in the long run. And so Wooster has kind of become his bodyguard target.
Good luck, charm.
What do you mean?
Well, if you don't,
good luck, charm. Okay, I heard good luck, chum, and I was like, okay, that seems hostile. So, and so he's protecting Wooster to the best of his ability, because he's just kind of lying in wait, because he knows that there's no way he can take on what's going on with the information he has right now.
Okay.
So it's interesting. That's a little character. What's going on in the character's head as I'm portraying.
Okay. Wooster, what was your view of Nicodemus?
well, I say he didn't need a backup. His presence alone was suitable to a certain degree. The backup was just
Overkill.
Too what's the word? Thuggish.
Yeah.
A bit too thuggish. But then again, it's not me. I can only speak for my own style.
You want to spell it in the chat for Blink? No, he is not Irish. I don't know if that's facetious or not. I don't know, but he is not.
Nicodemus. That's a good one. Damn it, Blinky. You're the pun master of the show.
Maybe it doesn't help how I pronounce some people's names there.
Well, so it made a huge difference. Like, we always comment about the international differences and whatnot, and I really tried to make that not a priority this time around and really focus elsewhere. But it was interesting because on the one episode that I was trying very hard not to make that a thing, there were two different instances where it completely changed how I was viewing the scenario when I asked you to explain it. Because when you were when you said the word will, WILL, I interpreted that as a well.
Yeah.
Well. And so mentally, I was imagining the scene playing out with me at like at the bottom of a well. That's a very stereotypical place for something like that to happen in a dream.
Yeah.
And so when it clarified, I was like, oh, I have to totally shift my thought on it.
Perception, yeah.
And so very interesting. And the other one, when you were talking about the flat,
Yeah.
I know that in Britain they call apartments flats, but I wasn't thinking in that term at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm lying on the street flat on my back. And so it just completely altered the story. And it was just very interesting to me because with all the times that we comment about regional variance and all the times we make fun of each other, this episode wasn't really trying to do that. In fact, I was trying to steer away from that. And it actually happened to affect the story, which I thought was very interesting because I might have played it completely differently if I thought I was in a well, if I didn't ask for clarification. So it's just very interesting. We have something that I don't think you guys have over here called the pin-pen merger, where it would be pan. Can you pass me the pan in the pan? Yeah. So it's in the South where the word pin, P-I-N, and the word pen, P-E-N, are the same. They sound the same.
Oh.
And so that can create a lot of issues if the context isn't there, right?
It's a pen.
So like that well will, because it was the first sentence, there wasn't the context to back it up. And so, I could see the same thing happening with other words, if I was the DM. It was that part was very interesting to me because I was like, oh, okay, I need to adapt what I'm doing here.
This is exactly why I love the language of Finnish.
It's a language I see.
Those misunderstandings. Every word, there is like very few instances where you have option that this might be another word, but usually it requires a sentence structure that has the required elements to make that. The Finnish language is very strict in its form. It might be because it's only 150 years old, as in the language itself is much older, but the modern form, the written form, is only 150 years old.
What did you guys think about because now I was telling my wife about it during the break. I don't know if that's the second or the third faction that we've entered. I know that there were 3, but I don't know if we've formally done all 3 at this point. Or if that was kind of number 2.
That was number 2.
Okay, so we've introduced the big bad for faction number 2 for our 2 viewers. Hi, 2 viewers. What was your impression of the big bad and how we handled it? I typically, and Zim hates me for it, which is why Guardians turned out so well, is I always try to find an unorthodox way to handle something. And so Zim, anytime that he's DMing and I try to do something unorthodox, he doesn't like that. So that's when my best friend gets killed. So because that's happened before. Give me just a minute. What did you guys think?
Meanwhile, while we wait for responses, as far as we know, next week's schedule is going to be so that John, we should have both games next week.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't understand those words. Say it again.
We should have our both games next week on schedule. So
I will be around.
Yep. The next week after that, John is not going to make Babylon Project, I believe.
Yes.
But the rest and Fast is going to be on schedule.
It should be, depending on because it's a wedding I'm at, and it'll be a question of how inebriated I get.
Okay, so run that by me again. So 22nd is yes, 29 is no. Is that what I got out of that?
Yeah, on the 28th is my mate's wedding. I'm best man, so it's going to be a question of how drunk I get on the 28th.
Okay, so we might just
28.
call Dresden Files on 29th.
So it might be.
Just to be sure. So you can be the best man all day long and not have to worry about this.
Okay. Because it is very hard for me to understand you guys legitimately, and that's not even like a statement.
Right.
29th, no show.
No show.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I need.
Fair enough.
29, yes or no? No.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And I mean, and we just commented about it, but sometimes I like when you guys are having a scene, I legitimately don't understand what's going on in the scene, and so I'm trying to parse it through.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It just is. All right. I think our Irish evil needed to be more oblivious about the loopholes you left. I know nothing about the lore of the Dresden world, but the way you offered your help to the bad guy makes things interesting and terrible for you. You are going to burn. The more the merrier, question mark. And being drunk and playing Landis should be fine, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wedding takes place during the game.
Yeah. It'll be. I wouldn't be able to get back in time. There would still be the reception there.
So, for obvious, not oblivious. Okay. Frog. I didn't know anything about Nicodemus either.
Me neither.
What?
Me neither.
Yeah. So, when he said like the blackened the group, I was like, okay. And so I looked it up, and I know that you guys don't have copies of the manual, but what I was doing before I made the deal, and you probably saw it a little bit, but it was still.
Oh, both of them were reading the books.
Yeah. I was just scouring to figure out what to do, and so actually, if you get a copy of Dresden Files Accelerated, this is the book that we're using. Nicodemus actually has his very own section in the book. I don't remember what page it was on.
Page 52.
52, yeah. So that's what we were using, where it literally shows Nicodemus. So that's what we were using. Frog says he will steal yours, Wooster. But yeah, that's what we were using. It's all in Dresden Files Accelerated. You can find it from Evil Hat Productions. Go and register. This stream not sponsored by, but hopefully could be by Evil Hat Productions. All right.
Also, if you're going with their older products, you have the old fake, basically the original Dresden Files RPG book. This is from the volume 2, and Nicodemus is found on page 102.
Yeah, so
should we end this commercial message in order to ingratiate ourselves with Evil Hat Productions?
Yeah. All right. So, on behalf of Evil Hat Productions and To Die For RPG, this has been Dresden Files, Sources of Power, found every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No idea what time it is for you guys, and you're the only ones who actually utilize the time zone. But hope you guys had a wonderful night, day, afternoon, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, exactly.